In this video, I'm going back to logistics. Logistics is really where we're going to either win the fight or lose the fight. And the best thing for us for logistics is getting stuff pre-positioned out in the field, at least at the beginning of the fight. We still will supply ourselves off what we can take from the enemy, what we can forage and gather in the field, and what is given to us by those that support us. We're not going to steal from civilians. Okay? Plain and simple. So as much as possible, we should have stuff pre-located out in the field where it is feasible. We're in winter time right now. The ground is frozen, so you can't bury stuff in the ground. So I was trying to figure out, well, what can we do to add to our logistics plan for if things would kick off in winter? And one thing I came up with is the operational cache concept, where the stuff is in the cache and we're meant to use it right away. Unlike a barrel, which is meant for more of a long-term cache. So these types of things would be something that you would potentially put out right before you go to the field, or you have them pre-made and people drop them off at set locations that you've already chosen, camouflage them, hide them, and when they report in, they let you know if the cache went in where it's supposed to, any changes and so forth. So then it came up with the idea of, well, what are we going to use for containers? And the easiest I could think up was the Rubbermaid style totes. Now, some notes on these totes. You want the solid piece lid, not one of the hinged ones that open and close in the center. You also don't want a lid that just sits on the top, which can be knocked off or blow away. One thing I looked for was the ones that have latches on them that help keep them in place. Not too worried about the color of the lid or even the color of the bin, because that's what spray paint is for. As you see here, this lid originally is yellow. Hit it with some spray paint that should bond with plastic. Check into that, make sure that you get the best that you can for this. And spray paint it up with some type of general field color, OD green, brown, that type of thing. Now this type of lid, one issue I have with them, there's small slits in them. These are for latching them up with like zip ties and stuff like that, or seals. I'm considering putting a piece of plastic inside here underneath the lid, putting this over the top to try to waterproof it, try to keep the water from seeping through. Another option that I'm considering is putting maybe tape on the underside here and then possibly filling those in with silicone or some type of putty, something like that. So now I'm setting this up along the military's LogPac concept, your pre-made logistical packages. So for right now, I have an Alpha case and a Bravo case. I'm considering doing a Charlie. But my Alpha case here in this LogPac, it is a 15-gallon tote. That's what was the most common and decent price at the particular store I went to. And inside this, there'll be some variation for the specific type of thing that's in it, but I'm trying to keep similar numbers on stuff. We have 12 pounds of white rice, 12 pounds of dried beans, in particular split peas and lentils. We have a medium canister of coffee, about close to 2 pounds. You see inside the tote, there is a gallon bag in there. Inside that bag is different spices. We have 1 canister of iodized salt, a 3-ounce tin of black pepper, and then 6 small bottles this size of different spices. Whatever basically was on sale at the store that I figure would kind of go along with what's inside here. Vary it according to, you know, what's available, preferences, and so forth. Also have in here 40 packs of ramen noodles, and each one of those packs is a different type. For this particular one that I have opened here, we have one bag that is beef, one bag that is shrimp, one bag that is chicken, one bag that is picante chicken, and one bag that is chili flavor. Try to mix it up, cut down on the eating the same thing all the time, and then your palate gets tired of it and then you don't want to eat it anymore. Give it some variation. 2 rolls of toilet paper. And then we have soup mixes, a total of 12 packs of soup. Now each tote, because of what's most common in the stores and each type of dried soup you come across, there's 4 bags of chili, 4 bags of chicken noodle, and then 4 bags of something else. It could be some type of onion soup, it could be some type of vegetable soup, some type of beef vegetable, whatever's available. Now there is still some room left inside the tote. I can still put some more stuff in there. I'm still trying to figure out what best should go in there. Should I maybe put in a bag of brown sugar for some baked beans in the field? Or another thing I'm considering is putting in a bunch of packets of these, take them out of the boxes. These are the single serving soup mixes that you can make inside a canteen cup. The ones you find mostly in the stores on these is onion and chicken noodle. I'm still considering that one if I should include some. But wherever you have room, put something in there. And then when you go through, make sure waterproof it. All this stuff is double bagged. You have the stuff's put inside one bag, and then that bag is put inside another bag. And then some things like on the spices, especially for salt, that is vacuum sealed inside a food sealer bag, which is then inside another bag with the other spices, which is then inside an outer bag. The tin of coffee, still not sure on that. I don't have bags large enough for it, so right now it's just sitting in there. I know it might be better to put in the plastic container of coffee that won't rust. But the metal ones, I have other uses I can use the tins for. So that's the Alpha Pack inside this LogPac, this logistics package. Now we'll move over to our Bravo case. The Bravo case, I'm using the smaller 10-gallon totes. Same thing, we got latching cover that goes over the top, 1-piece cover. Inside here, 24 pounds of rice, 24 pounds of beans, and the beans that are primarily in this are like your navy beans, your Great Northern beans, and pinto beans. That's why in the Alpha Pack I put in primarily the lentils and the split peas. Also in here, 2 rolls of toilet paper, 2 canisters of plain salt, non-iodized salt. Now the reasoning behind the non-iodized salt is you can use that for drying and salt curing meats and foods. The iodized salt that's in the cook pack is meant for seasoning. The plain salt, non-iodized salt, is meant for food preservation. Even if you're eating from this pack, you're going to want to supplement it. You're going to want to catch game, catch fish, you know, get those snares and stuff put out there. Some of it you're going to eat with the meal. Maybe you're going to have extra. You went out to get 1 deer, you brought back 2 or 3. You went out to get 6 squirrels, you came back with 10. Well, then you got the salt, which will help preserve the meat, which you can then carry with you, putting it inside the emptied bags inside your rucksack, carry it with you to your next operational location. So wherever I have room inside these totes, I shoved toilet paper. I'm considering for doing a Charlie case that would be with these, so it'd be a set of 3 at each cache site. The Charlie case I'm thinking would be probably toilet paper, bars of soap, and potentially more soup pouches or ramen noodles or freeze-drieds, or a combination of whatever to fit in there. And that Charlie case would probably be another 10-gallon case like this, is what I was thinking. So these would be taken out to the field and pre-located. Each tote would be put inside probably 1 or 2 black trash bags, which would be then hidden. If we're in winter time here still, you know, if we got large enough white trash bags, maybe put the totes inside the white trash bags and then hide them. So once it would get warmer, the caches, these totes that would not be used, would be put in the ground. They're already inside the bags, which would help preserve them. Make sure if you're burying a tote like this in the ground, put some logs or wood over the top, so if someone walks over the top of the cache, it's not going to crack the lid. They're not going to sink into the ground and realize, hey, there's something there. Just a few things to think about. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and Militia movements, always remember, essayons.